Afrobeat has been on a consistent rise for the past year, with major entry in the American music scene. With artists like Rema, Burna Boy, Tems, Tyla, Ayra Starr, Wizkid, Davido, CK, Omale, Ashake, just to name a few, making big moves in the game. But all of this didn't happen by chance. This video is about the rise of Afrobeats in America, the reception it has gotten so far, its gains and losses, and how the genre can be improved to further solidify its place as a global genre. Known generally by its heavy percussion, mid to fast tempo, you can't spell vibe without Afrobeats. There's a saying that 1 in every 4 young adults in Nigeria, especially in Lagos, is an Afrobeat artist or at least a creative in the industry. But as they say, here is where the journey of 1,000 miles began for Afrobeats. It dates back to the time of Fela Kuti, who is widely celebrated as the pioneer of Afrobeats. Fela was a man of conviction, a freedom fighter.
Our own kind of spiritualism is not accepted by the hierarchy.
Born out of the need to fight for the freedom of his people, Fela used his voice as an instrument of change.
My main preoccupation right now is what is making Africans retrogress.
So music is only a very small part of it.
Exactly. See, but music is a small part of it, but at the same time, I consider music to be effective, like a weapon to inform people.
He was persecuted and jailed by the government of the day, as expected, and even lost his mom in the process. But all of these sacrifices gave birth to the present-day Afrobeat as we know it today. A fusion of jazz, high life, funk, and other traditional African elements. A well-traveled Fela coined a unique sound which has now become a global phenomenon. Here's what former President of the United States, Barack Obama, had to say about the music icon Fela Kuti.
It's about the legendary Fela Kuti. He is a musical genius from Nigeria who made some music that I really love, combining funk, jazz, and soul into a whole new genre called Afrobeat.
Sadly, on the 2nd of August 1997, the legendary Fela passed on. However, his legacy lives forever.
Give and chance, he no get break, yo.
Then came what many call the second generation of Afrobeat artists, the foundation of Afrobeats to the world movement. This wave introduced acts like the defunct Plantation Boys, who later went solo as Two-Face Idibia, Blackface, and Face Alone. Then you had African China, Eedris Abdulkareem, JJC Skills, Daddy Shoki, Tony Tetula, Olu Maintain, Mode 9, P-Square, Paul Play, OJB of blessed memory, and the legendary Mohit crew made up of D'banj, Don Jazzy, Wandiko, Dr. Seed, The Prince, and K-Switch, with producers like Kobam Sasukwo, Don Jazzy, OGB Jazri, Puffy T, and ID Kapasa holding it down in the music production engine room. DJ Jimmy Jad, Rugged Man, LD, Neto C, Ike Chuku, Sasha P, Shank, General Pipe, Marvelous Benji, and Timaya. Later on came heavy hitters like MI, Banky W, Jesse Jacks, Terry G, J Martins, Ice Prince, who later became the first African to win a BET Awards, as well as Nice, Ginny, Brymo, Flavor, and many more. This generation laid the groundwork for modern Afrobeats. They made the people fall in love with the sound all over again, especially across Nigeria and Africa, by blending Afrobeats with elements of hip-hop, reggae, dancehall, R&B, and highlife. They created a sound that felt new, yet deeply rooted. And let's not forget the dance culture. Moves like Konto, Galala, and Swore became part of their identity, giving every sound its own signature rhythm and vibe. There were several other key moments during this era that helped push the culture beyond Africa's borders, setting the stage for the global explosion that was yet to come. Back in 2004, American rap superstar 50 Cent was at the peak of his career. The guy running hip-hop globally. That year, he was booked to perform in Nigeria alongside some of the country's biggest artists, including Eedris Abdulkareem. But things didn't go on smoothly. While on the plane, Eedris Abdulkareem protested the seating arrangement, saying it was unfair and disrespectful to Nigerian artists.
If you are giving him 17 babes, give me 17 babes. Nigerian bureaucracies, listen, whatever you are giving 50 Cent, that's what you are giving Eedris.
What started as a disagreement quickly blew up into a physical confrontation between Eedris and 50 Cent's team. Now, this was a huge deal, We are talking about 50 Cent in his prime and Eedris, who at the time was one of the biggest names in the Nigerian music industry. The story went viral and got everyone talking, not just because of the fight, but because of what it represented. Idris's bold move brought attention to the inequality when sharing the stage with international acts, and in a way, that single act helped spark conversation about respect, value, and global recognition of African music. Looking back, it became one of those early cultural moments that pushed Afrobeat closer to the global spotlight, especially in America, planting a seed for the movement we are seeing today. Also in 2004, Nigerian music legend Two-Face Idibia, also known as Tubaba, dropped a timeless classic, African Queen. That song wasn't just a hit, it was a moment. African Queen became one of the biggest songs ever out of Africa, blending smooth vocals, soulful lyrics, and that signature Afrobeat rhythm that instantly connected with people everywhere. Its success went beyond the continent. In 2006, the song was featured in the Hollywood movie Fat Girls, marking one of the first time an Afrobeat record made it into a major American film. That move gave Afrobeat real global visibility and proved that African music could stand tall on the world stage. This single act not only introduced millions to the sound, but it also paved the way for the next generation of artists who would take Afrobeats even further across the globe. Another key event that happened around this era was the emergence of MTV Base Africa. When it launched in 2005, it became a game changer. For the first time, African artists had a major platform where their music video played side by side with global stars. African diaspora, the community living in cities like London, Toronto, and New York, they became the bridge between Africa and the rest of the world, promoting Afrobeats in clubs, parties, and radio shows. By the late 2000s, Nigerian artists weren't just singing for the neighborhoods anymore. They were dreaming global, and the world was finally listening. Things got even more interesting between 2010s and 2016, when the floodgate was open. The new wave of Afrobeats to the world had a defined pathway. Initially, it was from Ghana to South Africa and then to the UK, with its final destination being the US. Of course, DJ Abranti deserves his flowers. The London-based DJ is widely credited with coining the term Afrobeats in the early 2010s to brand the sound for the British audience. That move didn't just name a genre, it gave the movement a clear identity. From around 2010 to 2016, Afrobeat made one of its biggest leaps yet, transforming from a regional sound to a global movement. This was the era of viral songs, social media buzz, and cross-continental collaborations. Nigerian artists started teaming up with American stars, creating a sound that was both African at heart and global in reach. These collabs didn't just open doors for Nigerian music arts, they also introduced American audiences to the vibrant world of Afrobeat. Among the most notable hits around that period was D'banj and Snoop Dogg, Mr. Endowed, remixed in 2010. This was one of the earliest crossovers, a bold statement that Nigerian artists were ready to play on the global stage. Oliver Twist by D'banj. Oliver Twist didn't just dominate Africa, it broke into the UK top 10 singles chart and hit number 2 on the UK R&B chart. For many people overseas, this was their first real taste of Afrobeats on mainstream level. P-Square and Rick Ross' Beautiful Onyinye in 2012. This collaboration brought together Nigerian pop and American hip-hop, showing that the two worlds blend commercially and sound amazing doing it. P-Square and Akon, Chop My Money remix in 2012. Akon's feature, followed by P-Square signing under his Convict music label, gave them a huge push in the US market. It also signaled a growing partnership between African and international artists. 2014, Ojo Elegba by Wizkid. This track paid tribute to Wizkid's roots in Lagos, but it became so much more. When Drake and Skepta hopped on the remix in 2015, it introduced Wizkid and by extension Afrobeats to a whole new international audience. Davido and Meek Mill, Fans Me 2015. This record blended hip-hop and Afrobeats seamlessly. It wasn't just a song, it was a cultural handshake between Lagos and Philly. Techno Pana in 2016. Wizkid and Drake One Dance in 2016. And that changed everything. This was the turning point. The song hit number 1 on the Billboard Hot 100, making Wizkid the first Nigerian artist to top the US chart. It was proof that Afrobeat had officially arrived in the American music mainstream. It begs the question, how did all this change the game? It puts Nigerian artists on the map as serious international players, not just regional stars. Through smart use of social media and viral dance trends, they built direct connections with fans worldwide. This era laid foundation for global explosion that came next. The rise of artists like Burna Boy, Tems, dominating global charts and award shows. The 2010 era wasn't just a chapter in Afrobeats history. It was a launch pad that took the sound from Africa to the world. Songs like Essence featuring Tems didn't just vibe, they took over. Essence became the first Nigerian song to ever crack the Billboard 100 and even got a remix with Justin Bieber. At that point, it was clear Afrobeat wasn't a trend anymore, it was a global sound. And there's Burna Boy. This guy didn't just chase international success, he demanded it. From Ye becoming a global anthem in 2018 to his Grammy-win album Twice as Tall, Burna Boy built a bridge between Afrobeat's roots and modern global appeal. Davido kept flying flat too. He dropped bangers after bangers. If, Fall, Fire, Assurance. Fall became one of the longest charting Nigerian songs ever in the US. And suddenly, even people who couldn't pronounce Davido were vibing to the sound. Then came Rema, New Wave. In 2022, his hit single Calm Down became the soundtrack of TikTok, YouTube, and literally every party on earth. When Selena Gomez jumped on the remix, it skyrocketed to the top of global charts, crossing 1 billion streams and becoming one of the biggest Afrobeat records of all time. Tems wasn't left out either. Her silky voice became the go-to sound for global hits, from Wizkid's Essence to Future's Wait For You, which won a Grammy. She even co-wrote Rihanna's Lift Me Up for Black Panther, Wakanda Forever. Tyla, a symbol of feminine global crossover, and Amapiano's evolution. The South African princess turned the world upside down with water. The track didn't just go viral, it flooded TikTok, conquered radio playlists, and even landed her a Grammy for Best African Music Performance, the first ever in that category. She didn't just open doors, she built her own stage, blending Amapiano with pop, making something fresh, sexy, and universally irresistible. Meanwhile, Ayra Starr, Nigeria's Celestial Girl, has been on an unstoppable rise. From Rush dominating global charts to performing at major festivals, Ayra Starr, the face of Gen Z Afrobeats, bold, stylish, and fearless. Her vibe is a proof that Afrobeat isn't just a sound, it's a movement of youth energy, redefining what it means to be African on the world stage. CK's Love Nwantiti didn't just go viral, it practically proposed to the algorithm. Every TikTok couple had it playing in their background. When Love Nwantiti dropped, no one saw that coming. The song quietly took off. Then TikTok did what TikTok does best, was charting in over 30 countries, even breaking into Billboard Global 200. That viral moment was a digital teleportation. It carried Afrobeat to places it had never reached before. It proved that the genre didn't need a major label push or a radio campaign anymore, just the internet and good vibes. And you can't talk about this era without Asake, Lagos street preacher turned global superstar. He fuses Fuji, Amapiano, and pure street energy into something totally fresh. He has had collaborations with major stars in America and just performed recently on Tiny Decks, Lagos to the World Blueprints. Afrobeat has become a cultural export. Fashion, slangs, dance, lifestyle, all of it. From Essence Festival to Rolling Loud, sold out stadiums in London, Paris, New York. The world isn't just listening to Afrobeat, they are living it. And here's the beautiful part. It all traces back to the early pioneers who made the world pay attention, from Fela Kuti's Rebellion to Tubaba's African Queen, to Wizkid, Burna Boy, and Davido, turning foundation into a global empire. Afrobeat is now the heartbeat of world music. But beyond the hits, song, and viral dances, Afrobeat is something deeper. It is proof that African creativity can't be contained. It is our voice, our pride, and our global passport.